Hi, I'm Lisa Haisha here at the Soulblazing Sanctuary, and I'm sitting with TeCheetah Lopez, a wonderful singer, and I'm so excited to introduce her to you. We met at a wellness retreat, and I heard her perform, and I was just blown away. She is so extraordinary. The audience went nuts. She got like 10 standing ovations. And I'm like, who is this woman? You know, she really hit out. She's very social, fun, engaging, and a beautiful soul, but she kind of was keeping to herself a little. I didn't want to bombard her. Then when I heard her perform, I'm like, wow, she's holding all that so she could give to the world in such a big way. And I was so grateful for that because I think you touch so many people just by your voice.
You know, again, we did meet at OHI, and I went there. I had no idea I was going to sing. So when somebody told me, "Oh, you know, can you sing?" and I'm like, "Sing? I'm here to heal myself here, right?"
This is about me.
Yeah, it's about me. I'm not here to perform here, you know. And they're like, "Oh, we have a talent show," and I'm like, "I don't want to compete." They go, "No, no, no, it's a talent show. You know, people here." I'm like, "Oh, okay. If I feel okay, I will." And then I remember that day very well, because I just dragged myself up those stairs because I wasn't feeling too well, you know, because, you know, they give us all that wonderful food.
Yes, you're detoxing. You're not eating, you're eating lettuce.
And I'm like, okay, so with the mentality is the show must go on, right? So when I get up there and I'm like, they're like, well, the only thing we know how to play is La Bamba. I go, La Bamba? I'm like, okay, we'll rock La Bamba. We'll rock La Bamba, you know? So, yeah, so I just gave it my all with La Bamba, you know.
Yeah, how long have you been singing?
You know, I've been singing since I was 5 years old. And it's never stopped. It's never stopped. I remember sitting in the back seat of my aunt's car, right? And I would be singing to myself, and she literally turned on the radio, and she said to me, "Okay, if you're going to sing, sing right. Or don't sing at all." And it was like an awakening for me. And I'm like, sing right? So then I started listening to the music, and then I started becoming the music. And the music became me. And then there was talent shows after that, and then the choir, and I was always the lead. And started singing with bands when I was 12 and 13 years old. And
well, how did you get so confident? I have a 5-year-old who loves to sing, and she says, "Nope, not until I'm 16 in public." She says, "I still need to practice. I still want to grow, basically, as an artist." How did you get so confident?
Well, I haven't always been confident. Matter of fact, I wasn't confident.
Okay, great. How did you become confident?
You just have to.
But what is that point of, I'm shy to perform in front of people, to I just have to?
Make yourself into something you're not.
How
But
do you do
something
that?
you want to be.
How do you do that?
I would look at Barbra Streisand, Diana Ross, Edie Gourmet, and I would look at these beautiful women, right? And then I would look at myself and I'd say, but I'm not like that. And then I'm like, wait a minute. But Barbra Streisand has a crooked nose. And there was Cher also. Cher is tall and langy. But I'm short and I'm chubby and I have curly hair. Because back then they didn't have, you know. And then I thought, but wait a minute. I can be. And then I saw a program with one of these, it was a movie where one of them didn't have makeup on and they painted their face. I go, well, I could do that. And then Diana Ross also had some stuff. And I said, if I painted myself up and I just acted like them, I can become them. Even though I don't feel that inside. Right?
So you were like an actress playing you.
I could be an actress. I can act like I'm beautiful. I can act like I can sing. I'm going to act like Barbara and Diana Ross. I'm going to act like them. And I'm going to become them. And I'm going to see how many people I can fool. That's what I wanted to do. And I succeeded, Lisa. I was able to succeed. But you know what happens when you act so much? you end up becoming that person.
Yes, absolutely. And you start liking it. And you start
Yes.
liking yourself and getting to know the real you, not the mask you put on. I teach a thing called soulblazing, where everyone's wearing a mask to protect themselves from everything. But once you become you, it's okay to be vulnerable because there's nothing to be afraid of.
Yeah,
It's
and
like,
what,
this is who I am.
And what happens is after you become that person and you say, okay, wait, I'm not her, I'm not her, I'm not her. People love me. Then you start peeling off the layers of who you, the masks that you put on, right? You start peeling off the layers, and then you become you. Everybody loves you, TeCheetah. You're not Barbara. You're not. You know, you're not Edie Gourmet, and you're not Chaka Khan. You're you. They love you, and that's when I became. And I had my own signature voice and my own signature style, you know, but sometimes it's like a seed, right? We're a seed, and then we become this beautiful flower, right? We all have to grow somewhere. There has to be a beginning. So if you don't water yourself with love, if you don't water yourself with appreciation, even if it's water from somebody else's tin can, right?
Yes.
Right. I got the tin can of Barbara, I got the tin can of all these, and I watered myself. But I became this flower, and I started loving myself. I love myself so much now. My mother says I'm so conceited, but
no, that's beautiful. I mean, that's what I teach my clients. You gotta look in the mirror and say, I love you every morning. Look at yourself. We don't even look at ourselves anymore. We're afraid to even look people in the eye. We're afraid to look at ourselves and say, I love you. Oh, I can't do that. That's conceited. That's not right, you know? You have to, especially if you want to be a star, you want to give your gift. If you don't love you, how could anyone else? Because something about you comes across as fake.
Yeah, and you know, and the most important thing that I've always believed that I've had people say, well, TeCheetah, you know, you're just so lovable. You're just so this, you're so that, you know, and I'm like, I can eat by myself. I can go for a drive by myself.
That's a big deal for a lot of people.
I can sit down and live. I can live by myself. I can laugh with myself. I can go shopping with myself.
And have a good time.
Because me and myself and I have a great relationship. Now, until you have a relationship with yourself, get to know who you are, you really can't, it doesn't matter how many masks you put on, nobody's going to love you. Because you don't love yourself. That comes, haven't you ever seen, and I hate to say it this way, but we're very visual as people. A very unattractive man or woman. And the first thing we think is, oh gosh. But then once they open their mouth, they're the most beautiful things, people that you've ever seen. They're beautiful. I'm like, oh my gosh, she's gorgeous. She's absolutely gorgeous. And it has nothing to do with the outside. It has to do with the inside. So I always tell my girlfriend, honey, before you leave, wherever you go, make sure you get dressed 20 minutes before you go out that door and wear your attitude, your gorgeous diva attitude, because that's all anybody is going to see. Because a true artist, if you ask some of your fans, some of them will say, oh, you were wearing, I love this dress, blah, blah, blah. Because after they see your personality.
Yes, they could move on.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then they go, oh, what a pretty dress. But the first thing they catch is you, because I've had so many of my fans and even friends that say, oh, wow, I love that dress. You look great in it. I said, oh, I've worn this a few times. Oh, really? Because, see, they didn't notice what I was wearing.
Yes.
They were notice what type of attitude, my personality that I was wearing.
So how did you get your first record released? How did you develop a name for yourself? How did you get started? And was there an obstacle there that you had to go, maybe this isn't for me or this is too hard, and you almost quit, but you didn't, and how did you?
Oh, honey, I want to quit every day.
Okay, so what happened? How do you overcome those obstacles?
Life is easy. It really is. You take that much.
Life is easy.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, it is.
Yes, people need to hear that. That's a great message.
Life is very easy. If we have 2 legs to walk, a brain to think, a mouth to speak, and 2 hands to open up the door, as long as we take care of ourselves physically, and Life is easy. We can get anything we want. We just got to ask for it. We got to open our mouths and ask for it. I was approached by an individual years ago, back in 2002, from Sony Music, and we won't say any names. And shortly after that, they were let go from the very well-known people. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to get my record deal through Sony because they all got laid off. And so this individual went ahead and funded my career. And I got a nomination. He nominated one of my songs for a Grammy. I submitted it. But he was very controlling. Very controlling. Really ruined my spirit. I was loving myself and this and that. And then all of a sudden, I found myself being beat up by his personality, his very controlling personality. And then I thought to myself, well, if this is what the music industry is going to be about, I don't want anything to do with it. I was in New York at that time. I had to come home and regather myself and say to myself, out of 1 million people that could do something for me, this man wants to control me. So why do you want to give up? There's 1 million trillion other people out there that you can reach. Just find a way. Find a way. Keep on searching. And that's what kept me going, is that I knew that if that man with those credentials really liked me, there could be another men, women, whatever.
Of course, but you're still taking a chance because the bird in the hand. And a lot of people would say, well, I'll put up with whatever it is just because I want to get a career going. I want to make money. I want to.
No, and I did. And I put up with it for a while.
Right? How long's a while?
Probably about a year.
Okay.
Yeah, a year. And then I left, you know. And I've also had other people approach me with, oh, TeCheetah, we'll fund your career. We'll do this. We'll do that for you. We'll give you all the performances you want. But you have to do first-generation music. And I'm like, first generation? What's that? I had no idea what that was. They said, well, just do Spanish only. I said, Spanish only. I said, well, that's going to be tough. Well, what's so tough about that? Well, my mother's Irish, Italian, Spaniard. My father is Mexican and Spaniard. So that means I would have to pretend and sing music, just Spanish music, and just pretend that that I wasn't growing up on classic rock, and just give up all the type of music that I really like, you know. I said, I can't do that. I enjoy singing in English. I enjoy Barbara. You know, I enjoy my Motown.
So that's why you sing in English.
Yeah, and I enjoy classic rock. Oh my God, I love Journey. You know, Kansas, Bon Jovi, the Eagles. I enjoy all that. How are you going to strip that away from me? I can't do that. But if I want to become famous and have people, then it's a controlling thing, you know, in this industry. And that's okay.
So do you have a love-hate with the music industry?
Yeah. I have a love-hate. I love it because I know if I work hard enough, I can do my own thing, right? But yes, I hate it because it is controlling. Because in this industry, Lisa...
Everyone wants to put you in a box?
Yeah. Put you in a box, tell you what to do, and it's all about the money. Whoever has the most money to do the most marketing and promotion is the one that gets out there. Haven't you heard a terrible song, right? Here's this terrible song, but they just blow it all over the radio, right? And internet, and all of a sudden, oh, I like that song. People are creatures of habit. You hear the song over and over.
And if you're told it's great, people start going, oh, if they think it's great and they think it's great, it must be great. What do I know?
I got to be like that. Yeah, right?
Yeah.
So that's what this industry is all about, right? So, but with that said, I knew I could do this on my own. It's taken a little bit longer for me to do it, right? But I'm inching myself up there, you know, just to, like, for example, I sang La Bamba, for God's sake, in front of you. It was La Bamba, you know?
But you did a great job.
I know, I did a great job.
Made everyone
I'm
so
gonna rock this La Bamba.
And you did.
I know. It's like I put my personality in it. I just didn't do ba-da-la-ba-la, you know. I just didn't do that. You know, I did it.
So it seems like besides being a singer, you're really an inspirational speaker.
Yeah.
Too. Do you do that professionally also? Because Even now, your seeds of wisdom go far beyond. I'm just a singer. You write your own music too, don't you? Yes, you write all of it, and you do some covers.
Yes,
also?
I do.
Yes, yes. So a lot of people come in and just do a lot of covers, or other people write their songs for them. It seems like you've been through so much, and that you have so much to say. Just what you've shared so far in a few short minutes. What do you think? If someone's watching this, that they're a teenager or early 20s, and they're just stifled, or if they're in midlife, 45, 50, and their kids are gone to school, what advice do you have for them where they're going, I can't do it. I'm so sick of people saying life is easy, or you just do it, show up every day. I can't. I've got medical bills. I have to choose between, taking an insulin shot and feeding my kids. How am I going to, ever build a career? Or my husband's, has some strong issue and all my energy goes into that person. I have nothing left. I'm depleted, or I've got diabetes, or I don't have any money. I'm in debt. And life isn't easy. Life is hard. Life is unfair. And
you're lazy.
You're lazy.
Simple, straight up lazy. And
tell me about that.
That's the truth.
I think a lot of it is responsibility too. People really don't want the responsibility that comes with.
What you got to do is what I did, and I tell all my friends and my fans and colleagues. I literally want you to sit in front of yourself in that mirror, or get a piece of paper, right, and say, okay, these are my goals, these are my dreams, this is my health, this is what. And when I speak to you, Lisa, I always speak to myself, just to let you know. When I speak to anybody, I speak to myself, because I constantly have to remind myself of what I have to do and why I am not a little further, right? So it's nice for me to repeat and tell you these things, okay? Self, out of 100% of what I want to do, how much percentage am I putting in that? I want to be, I don't know, I want to be, I want to be a singer, okay? I want to be a pilot. I want to go travel, okay? Well, out of the effort, how much percentage are you really putting into that? 2, 3, 4? But I got to do this, and okay, you got to do that.
Life gets in the way.
Okay, life, okay.
How am I going to do that? I've got this to do, and I've got to pay the bills, so I have to work 8 hours a day at making minimum wage just to keep a roof over my head.
Okay, so at 8 hours a day, what do you do the rest? Because there's 24 hours.
First of all, I'm exhausted, and I've got this medical issue, and I have low thyroid, and I've got...
Okay, you have a medical issue. Mm-hmm. Okay. Why do you have a medical issue? Oh, because the doctor said I have this. Okay, well, what you got to do... We are all genetically made different, right? Just because one person can eat a whole bunch of stuff and be thin, right? And another person barely eats a little bit and is big, and now they have diabetes or they have arthritis, right? Well, genetically... You and I should know this, right? Genetically, our bodies can only digest what our bodies were made to do, right? Just because that person can digest that sugar, we can't. If you have diabetes, well, if you look to see what feeds diabetes, it's sugar. It's pasta. It's refined sugar. It's just breads. It's white rice. It's cheese. Oh, but you like those things. Well, that's why you have diabetes, and that's why you have to take these insulin shots.
So how can people get more self-discipline? Because I agree with you. Self-discipline is such, an issue in our society today. It's like the cravings. I have a friend who has stage 4 cancer, and she's still going, let me just suck on a lollipop. I'm like, no, because another friend of mine had lymphoma, and something grew, and every time she ate a bite of sugar, she'd see, because it was on the outside. She's like, oh no, I'm not eating that again, and it slowly shrunk and went away, and she's healed. But if you don't see it, it's kind of like it's not there. Or, well, this one candy bar really, affect my diabetes. Well,
why don't we just put a crack pipe to your mouth too while we're at it?
Well, it's just a small piece.
Honey.
I want to live life. I know I have cancer, but I just want to live life. Just a little. This won't kill me.
Yeah, it will.
It will, and I think that permeates every area of someone's life. If they don't have that if they don't have self-love, how are they going to?
And that's the percentage that I'm talking about. How much effort, how much percentage of that effort are you putting in to really get what you want? And what it is, Lisa, it's the fear of failure. and the fear of success. They're the same thing. You're afraid of failing, so you make sure that you subliminally sabotage yourself. Oh, I just a little bit of that. What? Well, if you want that, you might as well be an alcoholic. You might as well be a drug addict. You might as well be all these are addictive foods. They're like taking drugs. Your body wants them.
Sugar is a drug.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you have to get it out of you. So if you really want to feel better and you really want to succeed and you really, out of those 8 hours of the day, you want to come home and not be sick and tired, then find out what's not going to make you sick and tired. That's the key. You got to find out. Because if you don't want to find out, you don't care.
Yeah, I think, you know, I'm a counselor, life coach, and most of my clients who come here suffer from anxiety, depression, low self-esteem, or life's just not fair. Now there's the 1% and there's the poor. And it's impossible to get anything going today. So they feel they have to like carry this boulder up a mountain. They said it's just not possible today.
It's so funny because you said anxiety. I've never had anxiety until just recently. I was selling my house, and it was my loan officer calls me up and says, "Okay, we found this thing on your credit report," and it came to find out it was fraud. Right? Somebody had committed fraud on my credit report. I go, well, this is gonna, you know, not allow you to move forward, blah, blah. It was a long story, right? So I'm sitting down and all of a sudden I break out with a rash. And I'm like, what's a rash? And then my throat right here starts calculating. Then my arm starts getting numb. And I'm thinking, oh my God, I'm having a heart attack, right? And I get scared. And I drive myself to the hospital, and I just break down. And I said, I think I'm having a heart attack. You know, my throat's going like this, a little butterfly in my throat, and I'm breaking out in a rash, and my hands are numb. So after they check me, the doctor says, Miss Lopez, you're having anxiety. And I'm like, anxiety? Yeah, what's going on in your life? And I'm like, I told him, I go, oh. So in my mind, I'm like, okay, I'll fix that. Do you have a pill for that? Is that what you have? A pill for that? So he gives me the pills make me drowsy, and I'm like, okay. So now when I feel a little fluttering, I'm like, wait, okay, I'm doing this to myself, right? Okay, let's take it away. Let's wipe the slate. So I get like a little eraser. Okay, let's erase all the problems. Okay, let's calm down. And I can act, and that literally gets me out of anxiety. Or I put on a song that soothes me. And that music is the best medicine in the whole world. And let me give you a short example, Lisa, what I'm talking about. Have you ever been in the best mood and you're driving and you're like, la, 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 oh yeah, I'm feeling pumped up. And then all of a sudden, here comes the DJ, and all of a sudden they play a song that reminds you of a bad time in your life. You're bummed. Just like that. There is no pill in the world that can take you from high to low in seconds flat. And that's music. So I tell people, if you're in a really funky mood, I really want you to think of a song that made you feel so happy. Just drag yourself out of that mood and get that song, because it'll be the best medicine ever. And there's some people that just want to be sad.
It's true.
And they'll put on a sad song and make them sad and depressed and drink and all this kind of stuff, you know. And it's like, why are you doing that to yourself? So I say, you want the best drug? Find a song. That song was mostly the writer. I've had people put on my Facebook, TeCheetah, I have cancer. Listening to your music has healed my soul. Just your words alone have taken me to that next level. I wanted to commit suicide just listening to your music. It was off my first album, which I'm actually going to give you a copy of that today, called Abrázame. But music is a beautiful thing. So there's different ways to change your attitude. So if you want to get motivated to exercise or stop, find a song. Find something, even if it was a song back when you're in your 20s or your teens.
So what is a typical day like for you? Do you wake up with a song? How do you do a day? And how would someone do a day? if they want to create a legacy for themselves that's worthwhile to them? What do you recommend?
Well,
what's a typical week for you, a day or a week?
The very first thing that I do every morning is to make sure that my temple is taken care of. So I go downstairs and I drink about 16 ounces of water, and I have my my protein shake or my vegetables all grounded up, you know, and I make sure that I feel good about myself first. Before I get on any phone call or anything, I need to make sure that the body and the mind is good. So I go down and I blend my arugula, my spinach, and my cherry tomatoes, my organic apple, and then I put my wheatgrass powder in there, and I drink it, and I sit, and I open up the window, and I look out at the sun while I'm drinking. Every morning. Let the sun hit me, and let the day energize me, and think about the things that I have to do. Making sure the body is ready. The car is running. We're ready to go. Then I go back upstairs and I start checking my emails. And then I plan out my day. Okay, this is what I need to do. This is what I need to go grocery shopping, or I need to come to an interview. Do I need to get some music to somebody? I need to have this. How in the world can anybody just get up in the morning, drink coffee or soda? That's the first thing. You know, they're ruining their body, their temple.
Oh, absolutely. They get up, drink soda or coffee, and then watch the news, get depressed. There's this shooting over here. There's traffic jams there. This is going on. Climate change, smog, da 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 da.
So let's put it this way. Why don't we get up in the morning, get in our car, and let's go down to the store and get some coffee and some sugar and put in your tank. Mm-hmm. You think you're going to go in there?
Pancakes, syrup, coffee.
I can't even tell you what that does to me, you know. Put that in your tank. Your car is not going to run. Like, okay, why isn't this car running on sugar and coffee? Well, because it's not. Well, how is our body going to do that either, right? It's not going to do that. Eventually, we're going to get tired, and before you know, we're going to have another sugar drink or whatever have you. So what I'm saying to you is that get up in the morning and say, okay, in the morning, at least in the morning, can you make yourself put some good nourishment in your body, right? Some water, first thing in the morning. But in fact, a producer of mine, he's the one that had suggested, his name was Jesse Johnson. He was known for Morris Day and the Time. He used to be with Morris Day and the Time. He produced my last album. He says, TeCheetah, before you even put your feet on that floor, drink 16 ounces of water. Keep it there right by your bed. So I have 16 ounces of water. I have it right by my bed. Drink it all up, and you'll see within minutes. And I've had people say, "Ugh, water, I can't."
Oh my God, you could just drink it in 2 minutes. It's done. 3 minutes, it's done.
Force it down if you have to.
Absolutely.
And then all of a sudden, you're like, "Wow, that's the best." You didn't even need that Red Bull or that strong coffee. And then after that, if you want to go have I love coffee, right? But I'm not going to drink coffee until I put the water in me and I put my vegetables in me, right? Vegetables in the morning, that sounds gross. No, you're literally, it's
tasty if you juice it correctly.
Yeah,
it's not.
It's your gas for you, okay? Then after that, you'll see that your body's only going to want a half a cup of coffee or a fourth of a cup of coffee. Just that taste. I drink my coffee with no sugar, no cream.
Yeah, for me, it's just the ritual, holding a warm cup and the smell of it, and I
love the smell, and I drink that much, so I've just started pouring, but it's so nice to pour a nice big cup of coffee, you know. And then, you know, then after that, you know, after you've had your vegetables and stuff, you can wait till lunch or whatever, you know. But that's what my ritual is in the morning. I have to do that. You know, my mother says, "Oh my God, yeah, Mom, I can't. I just can't." Well, here's your cup. I need to drink my water first. I need to have my vitamin B, my fish oil. These are the things that I have to have. This is my mind, you know. And that's why I feel that I'm still going strong, you know.
So what's the rest of your day like? Do you write songs for a couple of hours every day? Then do you put your CEO hat on and make calls? And
I put the CEO hat on.
Meetings at nighttime or networking or performances?
A lot of networking.
Yeah.
A lot of networking. A lot of decision making. Of course, people are quoting me prices on if I want to do this or want to go that. A lot of video watching, because when it comes to certain performances, they want certain people on that, musicians behind me. And I watch their performances. If I'm going to have another vocalist, like, for example, I have a big show, Mario Lopez, with Mario Lopez in Denver, Colorado, on the 5th. And he wanted Los Angeles, LA All-Stars. So he wanted another singer on, on the bill with me. So I go through a lot of the songs of different singers, see what they're singing, what would go good with my show, right? Musicians, what kind of music are they playing? Do I think they can accommodate to my style of music? So there's a lot of that going on. And of course, it's just a lot of being on the phone, going down to the garment district. I create, except for this one, I create a lot of my own wardrobe. So I spend a lot of time, which
when
is
you
very...
say you create it, you design and
design.
hire someone to make your clothes for you?
No, I do it myself.
Oh, you make your own clothes?
Yeah, so I
good.
sew. So it's very
Beautiful.
therapeutic for me.
So what was your childhood like?
My childhood was very humble. And I believe that's why I am who I am today. My mother and my father were both farm labor workers. And I grew up in a house that housed, in the garage, 10 men in the garage and 20 men in the backyard in tents. And they used to all get up in the morning and go to work. My father had them. My father was a foreman. And he used to have all these Mexican men from Mexico go with him. And I grew up watching my mother every morning wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning, start making tortillas, making the beans, making the rice, making the chicken, making all those little burritos, wrapping them up. And when there wasn't work around in the area, my father would go seek work, and we would have to go with him. So sometimes there wasn't anywhere for us to sleep. So he used to have this big machete, and he used to cut down the woods, the forest, wherever we were at, and make toilets. And
where was this out? What?
Oregon, Montana.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we would live there. Sometimes we'd live in those those compounds?
Yes.
All the tents were white. White. I remember that. I remember standing. I wish I had a picture of that till this day. I have it in my mind where I was a little girl just standing there. And all I saw was white tents this way and white tents that way. And all these people were in there. And they were the people that are working in the fields. Cherries, we picked cherries, And then we were back in California. It was peaches, grapes, oranges. So I was tomatoes. I was brought up a child of farm labor workers. And my father always used to say to me, if you don't want to do this for the rest of your life, get an education. But it's so funny. Regardless whether we got an education, we still love growing our own food. And I love fishing. I love going fishing. It's just something, I'm glad that we were brought up that way, because my mother always used to say to me, TeCheetah, when you have money, pretend like you don't. Because when you don't have it, you're not going to miss it.
Is that how you live your life today?
That's how I live my life.
Beautiful.
I make a lot of my clothes.
So what do you want your legacy to be?
I want to be known as, like you said, like a counselor, like a very inspirational. I want to be a role model. I want my legacy to be nourishing. Just don't want to be a singer.
What a great word for your legacy. Nourishing.
Yeah. I want to be nourishing. I want, when people speak to me, I want them to feel good. I want you to feel warm and fuzzy after you talk to me. I want you to hear every word out of my mouth. And when you leave, I want you to remember those words and feel good about yourself. And say, if she can do it, so can I.
Those are great parting words. Thank you so much for this interview.
Pleasure was all mine.
Oh, you're just so inspirational. I'm really honored to have you here.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Give me a hug.